Hi guys, I'm Dami. Today we'll be talking about the 12 basic principles of animation. These basic principles was described by the legendary Frank Thomas and Ole Johnston. The first principle is squash and stretch principle. This is the principle that animated objects will get longer or flatter to put more emphasis on speed, momentum, weight, and mass. For example, see this bouncing ball, get squash and stretch. Then see the one without squash and stretch. You see the difference? The amount of squash and stretch you apply says something about its mass. The more squash and stretch, the softer the object. Then the less squash and stretch, the stiffer the object. We apply squash and stretch to character too. Look at how the figure is stretching from the speed that is coming down with, and squashes after he lands before settling in his pose. We fit also use squash and stretch to exaggerate facial expression. For example, see Kojo face. Please note, it is very important to keep the volume of the object consistent. Now the mistake wey many people dey do be that, abeg, no try something like this. The volume of the ball must be the same like this. So as the ball gets longer, it also gets narrower. When it gets flatter, it also gets wider. Same thing with cube. Another important thing to note is that the ball doesn't have to be stretching in the entire time that it's falling. Just starting to fall, it should have its normal shape. Then when it hits the floor, that is when it has the most stretched. So no overdo squash and stretch. So second principle of animation is called anticipation. This is when character prepare for an action to give audience a clue to what is happening next and to make the action appears more realistic. A good example now when character wan jump. See before he move, he gats prepare for the action by crouching down to build energy. It's like a spring that closes up before releasing. Now see this character jumping without an anticipation. Looks unrealistic because the energy to jump comes from nowhere. Another good example now punch. See the two difference, with anticipation and without anticipation. Now you see this in a lot of cartoon. Before running, the character go anticipate like this before zooming off. See another good example. When a character wants to take something out of the pocket, they make their hand very visible and up into the air before going into their pocket. See this one now, without anticipation. It be like say the sweet disappear come in hand. Alright, so the third principle of animation is called staging. Staging is the presentation of any idea so that it is completely unmistakably clear. This is a very broad principle because it covers so many areas of animation, so we can apply to acting, timing, camera angle and position, setting. So when you dey do animation and you want the info control of where the audience go look, let us know, say see this, see this, then see these people where they laugh. This control na staging. So the ideas of this staging are to move the viewer's eyes around the screen. So see this bad staging. The characters are competing for stage presence. So who will they watch and I will not even know which one to watch first. The camera has a lot to do with this. It is important to know when it is close up or when it is far away. Far away is good for big actions, but close up is good for expression. See Kojo. No draw main action for side. It should be in the center of the screen or 1/3 of the screen. So in case if in the face side, there should be more empty space in the direction where in the face, unless person dey for him back. In this case, he no be the main character in the shot. So know this. Let one action finish before another action. Sometimes you feel pause if there is text on the screen so that people feel you down like 3 times. It is not about controlling the viewer's eyes, it's also conveying ideas. If character dey vex, do these things so that the character go vex well. Now the fourth animation principle is straight ahead and pose to pose. This explains 2 methods on how to draw. The straight ahead is when you draw the first drawing, the second drawing, and so on, basically animating as you go. The second method, pose to pose, is when you draw the beginning and end, then go back later, come dey fill the drawing in between. The 2 methods get benefits. The pose to pose, you go get idea how the animation go look very early in the process. Third way, you go dey fear if the character go end for the right place. Now you go decide where them go end from the beginning. Also, using the straight ahead can lead the character to change in size or be on different level from beginning to end. See, pose to pose go save you a lot of work. Straight ahead is very good for animating fire, water particles, dust, explosion. The reason why it's like that is because there's a lot of physics and we no go fit predict how it go move. So when you dey animate fire, you go just go with the flow wey you know about fire. However, you can still do pose to pose, then later fill up. When doing pose to pose, there are some vocabularies that goes into it. There are main poses called keys, secondary poses called extreme, and further breaking poses called breakdown. So what you do is to make the key first, then extreme, then decide how you want the extreme to connect using breakdown poses. Now see the final sketch. The next principle of animation is follow through and overlapping action. This idea na when the part of the body drags behind the main body and still continue the move when the main body stop. So you see that thing wey dey the head, say in dey move even after the head don stop. So that is what we call follow through. Overlapping action describe the offset between the timing of the body and into the part. So overlapping and follow through get associate called drag. The drag is the technique of delaying the movement of the body part in relation to the main body. Now see this character with and without follow through and overlapping action. So another good example of this overlapping action. Now for instance, if we offset the moving of the hands and this leg. So the next principle is called the slowing and slow out. This principle refers to the way all movements started slowly, build speed and finishes slowly. Without slow in and slow out, things feels mechanical. So make I give you a hint on how to apply this principle into the animation. So you take your extreme pose, draw single in between, then in between closer to the extreme like this. But for 3D animations or motion graphics, now to change the motion curves from linear to spline by adjusting the Bezier handles. So use it wisely. For instance, you no go add slow in and slow out as the body hit ground, but you go add them as in the bounce back up. Alright guys, this is where we'll be stopping for today. Check my next video for the completion of the 12 basic principles of animation. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and turn on the notification. Hope to see you next time.